It's so good to see you. I haven't seen you in... it's been several years, hasn't it? It's been at least a decade. Oh, well, it's so good to see you. How are you? You're looking very tall and slender as usual. So what am I seeing you here for? I get the honor to make one of your suits yet again. Oh, you flatter me, darling. So, let me see. This one's in impeccable condition. Is there a reason that you want something new? Oh, yes, I suppose there is a bit of wear here in the lapel. And the hem, is that blood? Oh, darling, you've gotten up to some rather fun activities. I see. I suppose it doesn't do too well to wear a stained suit, even though I've got to say it's held up quite beautifully, especially since you are still in the woods, correct? Yes, I thought so. I thought I had heard you getting up to your old tricks again, but this is exciting. So, what do you want to see today then? What do you want me to make for you? Ah, I see. So you do wish to stay with the same fabrics? Well, I think it's been some time, but I may still have enough of this left. I suppose it's been your trademark, hasn't it? And what about the undershirt? Are you looking to replace that as well? Not necessarily. Alright. Yes, the suit is the more important part, isn't it? I can't believe it's held up so well. That's good though. That's a very good mark of my craftsmanship. Well, as you see, things have changed a little bit since I last saw you. I'm not working in a back alley anymore, and instead I have Sarah's spiffy suits. It's a little sparse yet. It is still quite new, but I think it's worked out quite well so far. I don't have to thread everything and work everything by hand if I choose not to, which has opened up a realm of possibilities. But I think for you, my slender friend, I think we're gonna go with a completely hand-sewn suit. I do believe that would be the better way to go. Now, if you would like to just relax, I'll have to find a pencil. I can never find any. Oh, good. This one still has some graphite in it. There we are. Very good. Now, I was wondering who was going to come into my shop. You are the last client of the day, but I hadn't gotten your name, and shame on me for not recognizing that perhaps that little lack of information could only be one of my absolute favorite clients. Alright, so now I have your name filled in, and now we get to work on the measurements. Now, you don't look like you've changed too much, but it has been many years. I would like to just get a clean set of measurements just in case you may have grown a little bit. All right? Yeah, you look just the same as you did, but I just want to make sure, if you don't mind. So, I've upgraded these days and gotten myself one of these very fancy, very professional, little retractable rulers, measuring tapes, and I think it'll do quite nicely. Now the only thing is this only goes to 6 feet, and well, with your stature it might be a little tricky. I do want you to be well aware of that. Alright? Most clients don't have your sort of proportions, so it doesn't matter, but I really wasn't thinking of you, unfortunately, when I purchased this little number. Yes, but we'll make it work. So, my very slender friend, we're going to start with the chest circumference. So I'm going to be reaching all around you. I know you're a little iffy about touch, but I'm going to have to get pretty close. Is that all right? Okay, I just want to make sure. I don't need you to fuzz up my brain or whatever it is you do. I never did ask what exactly you were doing in those woods, but, well, I've seen the newspaper articles. Honestly, it's top-notch what you've done. Alright, let's see. I think we're going to come along the back here. And let's see if I can get right about there. Okay. Very good. Now I just want to loosen it a bit. And re-measure. And loosen. And re-measure. Alright. There we go. I like to make sure all my measurements are quite accurate. So I like to measure them in 3 cents. Let's see, I still have that very flat, very square chest that we all know and love. Checked 3 times. There we are. Just like to make as many notes as possible, as I'm a bit flighty these days. My head just feels a touch foggy, if you will. Perhaps it's allergies, I don't know. You never know how these things go. But it's certainly not as bad as what ended up killing me, of course, but you've got to be careful. I thought once one would die, then that'd be the end-all be-all, but unfortunately it is quite like life, illness and all. Let's get your neck circumference, darling. There we are. Alright, is this quite snug? Alright. Just want the widest point here. Okay, and I'm going to loosen and remeasure. And loosen and remeasure. Very good. Now, what is it that you've been getting up to in your spare time? Any hobbies? I see. All work and no play makes Jack a very dull boy indeed. You'll have to think about picking something up at some point. Me, I decided to take up a little bit of crochet, a little bit of needlepoint. I know technically I am just adding on to what I do for a living, but I give myself these little funsy projects, if you will. But it's better than nothing. Let's see. Let's get your shoulders. So I'm going to measure the front as well as the back, all right? So let's just come in right here. There we go. Okay. And loosen. And recheck. Recheck. Loosen. And recheck. Very good. Alright. I find that to be acceptable. So, from the front, and let's get around to the back. I'll be gone for just a moment. Let's see here. So, just going to come around the back here. Very good. Okay. Just keep your shoulders relaxed, darling. I don't want any tension to mess up my measurements. Okay, and I'm going to loosen this and recheck. And loosen and recheck. Very good. Let's just do one last time. Okay, good, good, good. It's good that you actually have some room to situate yourself in these days. The last time it was a little cramped for someone of your stature. Let me see. Very good. And now, one of my favorites from you. We're going to do your arm length. And I may have to split this up and just add the numbers together because, well, I don't want to wear out my measuring tape so much. So let's see. Come right here. Let's see how far we can go. Okay. Yeah, I suppose we don't have to go in two different parts. I have enough measuring tape. Now, let me see. Let's tighten that and measure again. Tighten and measure again. Very good. Ooh. I think you've probably got the longest arms that I've ever measured before, which I think is Quite a neat little feat. Let's see. Checked 3 times. There we go. And the other arm. Because I know your arms are just slightly off. Let's see. I have to do this the other way, I think. So let's go here and just measure all the way down. Good. Okay, and tighten. And remeasure. Tighten. And remeasure. Interesting. Very good. Checked 3 times. Was it still raining out there when you came in? I thought so. I can hear just the faintest little tap, tap, tap behind the windows. My hearing's grown a little dull these last couple 100 years, but just the faintest little tapping. If we were still in that alleyway, we'd be getting rained on. Let's see. Bicep circumference. I'm gonna get a little up close and personal with you, my friend. Let's see. If you could just lift your arm a little bit for me. There. Then I can wrap that around. Okay. So slender. I'm gonna loosen that and recheck. Loosen and recheck. Good, 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 good. Okay, if you can lift that arm again. There we go. Let's see. Checked 3 times. Very good. And the other side. Luckily for me, what you lack in width, you do make up for in length, so I can usually use some of the odd pieces left over. If you could just lift your arm up. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to loosen that and remeasure. Loosen. Remeasure. Very good. Let's see. Good. And now for the wrist circumference. You doing all right so far, darling? Just let me know if you need a little break. I know the touch is a little, you know what I mean. Let's see. Alright, I'm just going to wrap this around. Almost have to get down on the floor for this one. Alright. Very good. And I'm just going to loosen that. And remeasure. And loosen. And remeasure. loosen, and remeasure. Very good. Good. And the other side. Sounds like the birds are starting to come out again. How dreadful. I liked it when there was nary a sound, but the pattering of the rain and absolutely no signs of life. Oh well. And let's reach down for your other wrist here. Good. And loosen, remeasure, loosen, and remeasure. Good. Good. Now we're going to get a little more involved once more. I'm going to look at your back length now, so I'll be just disappearing behind you for a little bit. And then we're going to get a little more involved with the waist, the hips, the stomach, everything of that sort. So if you want to take a minute to just breathe, I won't be offended. Let's see. All right. So if you could just keep up straight like you usually do, relax your shoulders, and I hope I have enough measuring tape for this. Okay, good. So I'm just going to tighten that up and remeasure and tighten and remeasure and tighten and remeasure. Good. Good. I'm going to come back around. I'll be just a moment. There we are. Ooh, don't move quite as well as I used to. I may have to think about retiring in the next 100 years or so. Oh, all this up and down. It's not good on the knees. Let's see. There we are. Checked 3 times. Very good. Now we're going to go in for the stomach circumference. I'm going to have to get around you. Okay, if you could just lift your arms for me. Very good. And I'm going to come in very, very close. There we go. All right. Okay. Good. And I'm just going to loosen that and recheck. Loosen and recheck. Good. All right, while we're here, let's go ahead and get your waist and your hips. Okay, and I'm just going to loosen that and recheck. Loosen Okay, loosen and recheck. Loosen, recheck. Loosen and recheck. Good. Well, it was a touch awkward, but we got it done. Let's see. Very good. Now we may get a touch awkward still. We're going to look at the inside of your leg. Alright, so I'm going to take a couple of measurements in this realm, and we'll have to measure your leg lengths as well. Let's see, if you could just position your legs a bit apart just so I can feed the tape through. Good, 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 good. Okay, I'm just going to loosen that and remeasure. Loosen and remeasure. I'm just going to move down here. Okay, and loosen, remeasure, loosen, and remeasure. Okay, and then right here, this length, loosen and remeasure. Loosen and remeasure. Good. That's good. One leg down, save for the leg lengths, of course. Let me see here. Good. And then we'll do the same for the other leg. Very nearly done, I promise you. Let's see here. Alright, so I'm just going to feed this through. Alright, there we go. Going to measure, loosen, remeasure, loosen, remeasure, and we're going to move down here. Okay, loosen, remeasure, loosen, remeasure. And then just around here, I think, just a bit. Let's see. Okay, and just going to loosen and remeasure. Loosen, remeasure, and just one more time. Remeasure. Good. I have some things to jot down. Just very quickly. Very good. Lastly, the leg lengths. Now for this, I do believe I will have to get on the floor. So I'm just going to, well, you know, actually, I think if I stretch, let's see. Just gotta get situated here. Okay. So, right here. Almost. So we'll loosen, recheck, loosen, and recheck. Very good. And the other side. All the way down. Good. Loosen. Recheck, loosen, and recheck. Very good. I think with all of that stretching and exercise, you've very nearly killed me, my slender friend. Or at the very least, gotten me through quite a slow yoga session. Checked. 3 times. Very good. So now I have a few different fitting questions. Some of them I can answer myself, some of them you can answer. So, as for your shoulder type, you have quite, I want to say those are high shoulders, I think. A little bit of a mix between high and normal. Let's see. There we go. And the chest type, if I had to pick between chiseled, regular, and robust, you have quite chiseled features, I think. You're always the slimmest of, well, anyone I've ever measured for. Good. And the stomach region, that's quite flat. And your back is absolutely abnormally straight. And, well, for your ass, darling, you don't really have one. I mean, I suppose it's part of your charms, but personally, I like a thicker ass. It's a good thing we never went on that date. Alright, and as for the fit, I have 3 different choices. Either fit more for comfort, so it has a little bit of a looser aspect to it. Regular, of which I would do just as normal. And slim, of which I think that might be more your calling, in which I take things in so it really sits very fitted on the body. Very good. That's what I thought. So, that's all the measurements that I need from you. Now, things have changed a little bit, and since I've decided to hand sew your whole suit, I think we're going to go between 3 to 4 weeks, if that's fine. Really? You come in, what, the second, third week of October, and you want a suit hand sewn done by the end of October? Really? Double the payment and we'll see if it can be done. Fine. 1 to 2 weeks. Expedited. Double the rate. It's a good thing I like you quite a bit, otherwise I don't know that I would tolerate such insolence, but I do like money. I do. Now, is there anything else special that you need? Any little accessories, any little cufflinks, or a little handkerchief perhaps, a little pocket square, anything like that? You'll let me know. I'm sure you will. So we'll chalk that down to a no for the moment. You know, you really should probably request a go-between, or perhaps email is really big these days. Hell, even text. You could text me and I wouldn't have to, you know, do a little bit of a charade dance trying to interpret what you're trying to tell me. Yeah. Do you happen to need me to work that little slit in the back, you know, where it comes out, you know, that little anything? Are you sure? I can work it in. Yes, it will take a little bit more time, but I would rather that. I mean, this suit's held up so well that just doing that little hidden panel, I think, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. That's good. That's good. So, did you happen to acquire any other sort of abnormal appendages since I last saw you? Just that. Okay. Well, then I suppose there's not really anything else that I need from you. Not really. Well, that's good then. So, payment, I request half now and half when the suit's done. So, you know, you could start getting that out. Yeah, it's called a deposit these days. It's a little different than I used to run things, I know. So, the deposit. Okay. Alright, good. That's good. Okay. Deposit. Very good. Alright. I think that is all that I need. Is there anything else that you need from me? No. Well, then I suppose we will have to bid adieu. It was absolutely incandescently incredible to see you again, my dear. You have been a walking billboard for some of my finest work, and I do appreciate all the exposure that that's given me. So, as I said before, 1 to 2 weeks. If you happen to figure out email or texting before then, you can let me know, and I can tell you that way that your suit's finished. We'll get you in, we'll get it all tried on, see if there's any adjustments that need to be made. Alright? Okay, darling. It was wonderful to see you. I hope you have a whale of a day and a good rest of your night. Thank you. Goodbye now. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like this video if you want to. Comment if you'd like to. And subscribe